Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going through the Sydney Swans 4-point loss to the Brisbane Lions, going through the fantasy and Supercoach relevant players, as Sydney are on the bubble this week, so they are a little bit more interesting in Supercoach comparative to most of the other sides, as they are one of the three sides on the bubble. Brisbane as well, starting their title defence. And also the news of Levi and being non-sub and being in the best 20 in the 22, as well as some injuries, I would say is the best way to put it, means that he's got to hold the best 22. I feel like this weekend is a almost must-have, I would say now, in terms of your trades. If you don't have him, I know I could only get him on Super Fantasy, so must-have in Supercoach. I feel like, given they play West Coast and Richmond in the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, anyway, let's jump into this here. Sydney, not many relevant top liners, I feel like, is the best way to put it. Isaac Heaney, 103 across both, did his job, but he's not going to be value, and I don't think he's going to be top 10. Put it that way, in the midfield only category, so don't think there's relevance. Grundy looked better, but he did come up against a strong double ruck. And so I don't think he's going to be relevant this year. I feel like he's going to be back in that sort of 6 to 8 range. Some Swans fans somehow want him out of the side, but he's come up against Meek, who's one of the form ruckmen, and he looked off in that game anyway. And he looked better in this game, I would say. I know that he still had, 35 hit outs and stuff like that, but he definitely looked better than he did in the first game of the year, which looked poor, but it is what it is. Nick Blakey, 86-105, he'll be roughly probably this throughout the year, which I don't think there's going to be much value there for you guys. Roberts, if he had not missed that kick, which handed... Who was it? Was it Archie? No, was it Bailey? I think it was Bailey. I don't remember who exactly it was. Let me see if I can find who kicked the last goal for you guys. Timeline. It was Dunkley, actually. He kicked it to Dunkley basically from the kick-in, and Dunkley kicked the goal. If he doesn't do that, he ends up on a 105, and suddenly you're looking at a guy who's gone 128, 105, and it's fine. And Swans also win, which probably bumps him up even further. So he gets an effective kick rather than a clanger, which is probably about an 8-point swing there, plus about 2 or 3 for scaling for Sydney winning, I feel like would potentially be the case. So, and the moment that it happened there. So, yeah, it is what it is with him. He'll be fine. And he did it on 19 touches, which are almost the best thing. Fantasy-wise, 81, a little bit annoying, but at the end of the day, I think he'll be better. And I think Sydney as well, with the way Brisbane play, if I just remember correctly, their marks were quite... let's just look at the mark total for each team. Tackles 60-46. Where's the marks for you? 80-66. So I'm surprised with the stats there that Lions didn't do much with it. They kind of got belted in terms of the stats, but on the scoreboards, job done. So, yeah. I would think they were just more efficient in the third quarter, and that was simply it. Brendan Campbell, job done there for him, but not fantasy relevant or Supercoach. James Rowbottom, no. Why is there an ad? Just a big ass ad. Get out. And then Corey Warner, good in terms on the bubble now in Supercoach, and will definitely be gaining cash. I think he's got a negative break even on both platforms. Probably wanted to just start him because you don't want to trade him and then basically trade into him to trade out. Like, I know he's on the bubble, we'll get that initial cash generation, but yeah, don't want to do that. James Jordan did more of a restricting role, so it would be more reflective on Neil's score than what he actually put up. So, and just need to wait and watch who he goes to from Fremantle. Probably going to be Sarong, but hopefully he doesn't have as good a time with Sarong. Lloyd, McCartan, McInerney, 3-game suspension for McInerney. How's that going to impact it? I suspect you will see Ollie Florent join the likes of Lloyd on the wing, and that should help. That should help Riley Bice get into the side, who we'll talk about, who had a really good last quarter. So Ollie Florent up the ground. Chad Warner horrific basically till the last quarter. Dane Rampy, really good, efficient game, but Sydney need a revamp down back, it looks like. Hanley, pretty good for a full game, looks like he'll be fine. It maybe Cleary I think Cleary comes back in some way, shape or form. Maybe that means that one of the half forwards pushes back to a wing or something. Maybe even Cleary goes onto a wing and has some CBAs. So we'll just see about that. But I think Cleary's almost destined to go straight back in because of all the injuries to on-ballers and stuff like that. And I think he gets a role there, so that'll be interesting. Melican, Hayward, Hamling, Wicks as well, 43-26 for those that bought into him. This was always going to happen. 9 clangers as well. Eeks, this feels very typical of what Wicks would do as a small forward almost in a way, but maybe take away like 5 or 6 disposals. So yeah, it is what it is. He's going to have up and down games. Patton as well, 42-43, subbed out at 3/4 time. Probably could get dropped here because Hamling looks good. The ruck debate as well. Amadi looks really, really poor and it's also taking away from, I think, his forward craft as well. So I have a feeling, and I think a Swans fan said it, that McLean got through his first full game in the VFL practice match this weekend, so he might come straight back in for like a pattern, and then you swing McCartan down back, and suddenly you've got McCartan being able to swing up forward when you've got a McLean in the ruck, but you've got a Marty down in the forward line for 95% of the game, and suddenly you've got a target there, whereas McCartan, he looks all right, but he doesn't provide that big target always. He presents, but he isn't that sort of imposing figure, it doesn't feel like. Anyway, on to Brisbane. Josh Dunkley, for those that started him, absolutely smashed it. 27 touches, 5 marks, 10 tackles, 4 free kicks, 2 behinds, and then the goal at the end would have got the massive scaling for him. 173 in Supercoach. Should have started him. That really sucks. Could have, I think, even started him as well as some other things, and still it would have been absolutely perfect if I had. But I didn't really think about it for some dumb reason. Josh Dunkley is a guy that can go 115 in fantasy and 125 in Supercoach, it feels like. So yeah, just missed that. Zorko, 112, 139. He smashed it. The role change even to get the 2 goals as well. 75% by foot as well. He just came up critical with a goal in the last quarter as well. Goals at critical times and stuff like that. So yeah, job done for him. Jared Boo, 104, 88. Basically picked up the slack from Neil. Darcy Wilmot, 88, 100. Oscar McInerney, 85, 110 with 16 hit-outs. So him and Darcy Fort actually lost the hit-out battle to Grundy. And I actually just want to check this out in terms of the hit-outs to advantage to show that I don't think Grundy was too bad. I think he just... let's actually go my stats here. Hit-outs to advantage. Yeah, Brady Grundy wasn't too bad if you think about that. Like, he's still against 2 solid ruckmen. He had 10 hit-outs to advantage. The problem for Sydney was, I think, just the clearances. Yeah, the clearances they lost, even though the hit-outs they won. So, interesting. But, yeah, definitely, you can see Amadi's performance, minus 4.2. They need a better second ruck there. And, yes, these 2 did dominate in the overall, just because I think they beat him around the ground. But, anyway, back to, where is it? This one here. Yeah, Oscar McInerney, 18 touches around the ground as well. Levi Ashcroft, we knew that this was going to happen when he didn't have the sub-vest on. And 84, probably need to get him in on both platforms. And then knew this would happen with Will Ashcroft. There just is not enough midfield slots for him to do enough, simply put. If we go to Brisbane CBAs, I want to say he's going to be 30% here. Let's look. Will Ashcroft, 50% there as well. They didn't even include Levi in the midfield rotation, and Levi still struggled with 50%. Cam Rayner getting some time. That's surprising, but maybe they just wanted to change some things up there. Hugh McCluggage, 82%, and he did pretty poor as well. Darcy Fort, Hugh McCluggage. Let's just look through. And then Lachie Neale basically didn't do anything in the second and third quarter. I legitimately don't think he scored in the second and third quarter. Didn't score in the second, scored 1 point in the third, and then scored 12 in the last. That is one of the best tagging jobs I've ever seen someone put on. Because I don't know if he went to him straight away. He could have gone to him straight away. But Lachie Neale was on 24 points at quarter time, and you thought, oh, he's just going to ramble towards a tagged 100 or something like that. Tagged 80, but no, he just completely shut down. If we look at the advanced TOG for Brisbane, where was Neale in terms of the TOG in the second and third quarter? Just trying to find him. Where did he go? 75% TOG, 5 CBAs for no score, and then in the third quarter, he had as well 88% TOG, 7 CBAs for 1 point, and then in the last as well, he ended up playing 88% TOG for 12 points. So he ended up playing quite a big game in terms of his time on ground. It was at 84%, 21 CBAs for a 37-41 split. Randa, Fletcher, and everyone else here doesn't matter. And then the injuries to Lohman. You also had Starcevic concussed, which I'm guessing he's going to spend 3 or 4 weeks out, given that he just came back from a concussion in the preseason, I believe it was. So I think he's going to spend quite a while out. Archie, I don't think, is injured. So I think that they just had the 2 injuries, I want to say. But yeah, that's pretty much it from the Swans versus Brisbane game, in which Brisbane got the chocolates by 4 points. Disappointing for Sydney, but if you were to say at the start of the year, Sydney, you're playing 2 top 4 teams, what do you expect? I think I said 1-1, or if not 0-2 to start the year. And yeah, some people are even saying 0-3 because we've got Freo in Freo, I want to say. So yeah, that could be an interesting one there, but yeah, I think it is in Freo. So at Optus Stadium. So yeah, the Swans could easily go 0-3 and then just pick their season up after the bye as they get the players back. So that is a watch with Sydney for players' job security, I guess, or role security, I should say, as they get players back, but also that midfield, that fourth midfielder role. Could Gus make a return? We'll wait and see. I have a feeling they're waiting for Cleary to come back here straight away to do that. But anyway, if you did enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. If you're listening on Spotify, give me a rating and a follow over there, and I will see you guys back here for another game review with the Western Bulldogs, North Melbourne, Collingwood Port, and Adelaide St Kilda still to follow today. So I'll see you guys then. Bye, guys.